What's up, guys? This is Showtime Fight Forum. This is your boy Showtime, where we talk all things fights. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. Now, let's just go. Let's just go right into it, y'all. This weekend, well, I mean, this past Saturday, is one of the best nights of boxing this year, in my opinion. Like, this is what, as fight fans, we love, we need. None of these fights, like we had, 3 different cards, and they all were important, and then they didn't rub against each other for real. I mean, Devin Haney kind of rubbed it, well, not kind of, Devin Haney did rub into Kayla Plant, but yet still, like, we were there for Deontay Wilder, we already know that, and we were there to see Devin Haney. So it really didn't rub against each other too much. Now, it's really, really hard to even just like break this down without going a half an hour into it, but I'm gonna try my absolute hardest to get this under 15 minutes. Cause like I said, y'all attention span ain't that great, but that's besides the point. Now let's just go into, like, you know, the fights, and let's just get straight into it. What a night, super happy. I have to talk about the first fight. Not the first fight of the night, but the first fight that I brought up yesterday. I'm not yesterday, but last episode, which was the Kayla Plant versus the Durrell fight. Now, it really wasn't a great fight until the knockout happened. But, you know, I did call Kayla Plant winning. I thought he was going to have a good bounce back after the Canelo knockout. But never in a million years did I see this man, like, straight sleeping Durrell. That's a tough fighter, man. I told you he only got finished once, and that wasn't by a knockout. He got beat up a lot, and they threw in the towel, basically. Like, that was only time. So for Kayla Plant to pull that off, great. And now we got to start putting more respect on Kayla Plant's name, and also Canelo's, because y'all try to run this man through the dirt like he's been fighting bums, and like Kayla Plant wasn't a good fighter, and you guys have to understand, like, Kayla Plant is very, very good. So I'm happy he got the dub. The celebration afterwards was hilarious. I'm all for it. People want to act butthurt about celebrations, but at the end of the day, when you talk trash towards each other, you can't be mad at the way a person reacts after they get the dub. They might yell in your face. They might give you a DX, chop it. They might say F you, or they might hug you. We don't know, but I also don't care, because at the end of the day, we know what we're getting yourselves into. You know what you're getting yourself into. It's a fight. These are men versus men, women versus women. These are adults. And when the emotions are that high, and you actually beat this person up that was talking all this stuff about you with your name and all this other stuff, yeah, you're gonna be a little disrespectful. So I don't care. To do it again. Just like, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, still, like, well, what's next for these? Well, next for these guys. What's next for Kayla Plant? I hope we get a daggone Benavidez fight. I know Benavidez just booked the fight, but like maybe afterwards. If not Benavidez, then fight Charlo, fight Dimitri Andrade, like fight one of these other dogs. And there's too many good fighters in this one weight class. It's not as deep as lightweight, but it's a pretty good weight class with a lot of fighters that are in or around that weight that should all fight each other, but they're all waiting for Canelo. So I'm not saying Kayla Plant's that guy, because I think Kayla Plant really would fight anybody. So hopefully he gets in there with one of those dogs, and we can see who's the second best, or maybe the first best at super middleweight. So outside of that one, you know, let's just talk about Deontay Wilder. Like, because it's the same card, and also it's the quickest one to really talk about. It wasn't, I'm not gonna say like I'm a genie in a bottle by saying, oh, I called he was gonna knock him out in the first 3 rounds. Yeah, the writing was on the wall, we knew it. I mean, unfortunately, the guy didn't have much of a chin. And if you're getting chinned by almost anybody else, and then you're fighting Deontay Wilder, I'm just gonna assume you're gonna get knocked out again. Like, it's just foreseen conclusion. And we've said this before, and I say we, I mean me. He is one of the hardest punchers in history, period. That right hand is something that we've not seen in decades. Like, that guy had generational, it don't matter where he hit you, how he hit you. If he hits you, it don't have to be clean. You're going to sleep, or you're hitting the ground at least. So yeah, it was obvious, man. Deontay is a dog, and I'm happy he got the dub. And for what's next, people, I mean, I think they're hinting towards the Ruiz fight, which I'm interested in. A lot of people aren't, but I am, just because he's never been knocked out. He's been dropped. He's definitely the type of person to get hit clean, which is tailor-made for a person like Deontay. But he also punches hard too, and he has really quick hands, and he can't outbox Deontay. However, once again, I just said a foregone conclusion. We'll see. Obviously, the biggest fight for him to make is between Usyk or Anthony Joshua. Now, let's also put this in perspective. I already said this. If he lands, he don't have to land clean. If he hits you, it's done. He's dropped everybody, literally every single human being he's ever fought. Usyk has never hit the canvas. Well, no, actually, I think Usyk has hit the canvas, but Usyk has been rocked multiple times. Now, also the funny thing is, Usyk, that'll probably be the one fight where Usyk outweighs the guy in heavyweight. I think Usyk is around 220, 230 or close to that. And we all know Deontay Wilder's like 217, 218. He's not a big guy, he's just tall and lanky. So that is honestly my most preferred fight. I would love to see that because once again, we know what's gonna happen. Well, we know if it goes the distance, we know who wins. Like Usyk will box the living hell out of Deontay Wilder. But we also know Deontay Wilder can definitely knock out Usyk. I don't care what nobody, he can knock him out. Anthony Joshua's another one. It's a big name fight just for the fact that Anthony Joshua was one of the biggest names in boxing. And he's also a big figure. He has one of the best resumes in the heavyweight division. And he's probably the most tested. He's fought pretty much everybody except for Fury and Wilder. So it's definitely a fun fight as well. Two big guys around the same height, it's around the same length. Got both power punchers. Anthony Joshua's a better boxer, but Deontay hits harder. That either fight, that's the one I genuinely do want to see, especially if Tyson's gonna fight Dillian White, but you know, do whatever he's doing. So yeah, that fight card, you know, it was cool. Now the other fight that happened around the same time, which was Devin Haney versus George Gamboa Jr. Now, no one really cared to see this fight. I was one of the people. It didn't really move me. The first fight wasn't as exciting, and also it's one of those, you fight a guy that's better than you, and then you're going to fight him like, what, 3 months later? It's probably gonna end up being worse, and it was worse. Devin Haney took it to him. He tried, I will give George Gamboa credit for trying to switch it up, trying to do more, but it really wasn't that effective. I think the first couple rounds it took for Devin Haney to really figure him out, and then it was all she wrote after that. So, Devin Haney is close, in my opinion, to a pound for pound ranking. I wouldn't put him there just yet. And I'll say this too, and it is something to be worried about, which is his power. I mean, here's the thing. George Gamboa really wanted to go out. I'm not saying that he personally wanted to go out, but body language and the way he was fighting, he was ready to go. I was a little disappointed that Devin Haney wasn't able to get the finish. I mean, what was it, the 9th round, 10th round or whatever, where Devin Haney, it was 34-1? 34 punches, 1 landed for George Gamboa. That is ridiculous. And the fact that he didn't finish him, didn't even drop him, in my opinion, it's a little concerning. Now, some of it could be the fact that he's cutting himself a lot. He's cutting a lot of weight. He is fighting at 135. He looked like a skeleton. So maybe he's cutting too much weight and it's affecting his power, maybe, who knows? I'm reaching a little bit, I think. But it's like I said, a little bit concerning, especially when you're gonna fight a person eventually like Tank. Now, I'm not into people that, I am a Tank fan. I do think Tank is great, but I don't know how great because he hasn't fought nobody yet, especially at 135. However, if you don't even have the threat of some kind of power against Tank, it's gonna be hard for me to think that you're gonna beat him. Because similar, not just like, but similar to a Deontay Wilder, Tank only needs to land 1 punch. And that 1 punch can end the entire night. So yeah, like I said, it's a little concerning. I think he did look good though, outside of the fact he did get the finish. It was what was expected, which was him to dominate. He did dominate. And now we gotta move on. Fight Lomachenko, and then I can't even say let's move on, because that's not an easy fight. Lomachenko got a fight next week. We'll see how he does. If he wins, that should be the fight that's made next. And then we can see what's happening with Tank, Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, and all these other guys. Now, let's go to the women fights, all right? I think the women stole the show for the day. That was the fights I was most looking forward to, and those were the ones that delivered the most. Now, the first fight I want to talk about is going to be Michaela versus Alicia Baumgartner. Now, first of all, let me tell you how I scored it. I thought it was a draw. I scored it 5-5 even. I do think there were swing rounds, and I wasn't mad if honestly either one got the nod, especially the last round. The last round was very close. It wasn't too much happening. I enjoyed the fight. It wasn't the fight that everybody expected because the way these girls was acting like they was gonna go slugging, but it didn't. It was tactical. Now the first couple rounds, Michaela gave away, and I didn't really understand her style when it came to the first couple rounds. I didn't know she was trying to read the but Alicia was landing some really good shots. It seemed like Michaela was a little worried about the power a little bit and backed off, and then got comfortable in the middle rounds. And then Alicia started to look like she was wearing down a little bit. And once again, started getting picked. I ain't gonna say picked apart, that's a little stretch. But I did think Alicia was getting a little tired and giving some rounds up. Michaela was walking her down, being aggressive, which I thought she should have done from the get-go. I said the one thing she is tough, aggressive, and that wasn't what we saw the first couple of rounds. Once she started switching that up, started to become the person that walked forward, she started to win rounds. So, you know, she gets mad and saying that she was raw, but I feel like you let rounds go, and Alicia took advantage of them. And the most impactful punches, in my opinion, were from Alicia. So I'm not mad that she won. I didn't think she won. I thought it was a draw. I thought they should. I honestly still think they should run it back. But if they don't, it is what it is. Move on. If she, I do think they should fight each other eventually, though. Again, because once again, that was a close fight. I do think if they fought a second time, it's going to be a lot more action and a lot more hands being thrown, just because they don't really want that. Oh, well, they want to make it decisive that they won. So yeah. What's next for Alicia? She wants to be undisputed, so obviously that would be next. She got the belt, she got the shot, she called the shots. Now, what I'm interested in is her fighting Amanda Serrano. Like that's just straight facts. I would love to see that fight. People are saying Katie Taylor. I'm interested in that too. But the explosive, the power, the aggressive nature from honestly both would just make a firefight. All right, so like that fight needs to be made after Amanda Serrano has her fight next, and then Alicia, if she does, you know, win her unification belt, that is a fight to make, and that can sell out big. If it's Katie Taylor, that can also sell out. It doesn't really matter, either or. If I was Alicia, I probably would go Katie just because she's older, bigger name, and also she has her own country behind her, and that's probably more money. But once again, Amanda is definitely like that. Now, the last fight I want to talk about, the fight that I was looking forward to the most, which was Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Now, once again, we already know the story. Savannah beat her in amateurs. Now they're fighting again. And that fight was everything that I expected and more. 10 times more, actually. One thing people assumed from Claressa was that she was like some type of Floyd Mayweather decisive, like very defensive. She's more pretty boy than she is money man, if you want to compare her to Floyd at all. But she's such an offensive-minded fighter. She really does try her absolute hardest. And I have so much respect for her because of it. She tries her absolute hardest to get these women out the way. She just don't have it. Unfortunately, she doesn't have that power. She doesn't have the KO power, the knockout power. Unfortunately, she can hurt you, but she's not going to knock you out. Now, regardless, it's irrelevant because she could just piece you up for 12 rounds like she did. Now, people, in my opinion, gave Savannah a little bit more credit than I gave her. Was the fight close? No. In my opinion, it wasn't. Was it competitive? Yes, in spots. It was very competitive in spots. But it was clear, decisive who won. I thought Claressa dominated. Even when Savannah got her where she wanted her, she still was getting pieced up. A lot of stuff was going off the gloves and she was getting countered so much on the outside, which is where she should have been best at. She was getting picked apart easily. That wasn't even close. When the fight was on the inside, that's where it became ugly. And that's when, you know, it was a little bit more competitive. But in my opinion, I still gave Savannah maybe 3 rounds. I didn't think that she did enough in a lot of rounds. I thought Claressa landed the better shots, the cleaner shots, and in a lot of cases, the harder cut shots. But yeah, one of the best fights of the year, in my opinion. I saw it twice actually already, and I'm definitely gonna watch it again just because like Claressa is a tactician, man. Like her combinations are ridiculous. She throws punches and she puts punches in bunches. Period. No woman does that like she does. No, there's not even a men fighter I can think of that could really do that. But you gotta give this woman her flowers. She calls herself the self-proclaimed GWOAT. I didn't call her out, but I was basically like, I don't agree. I think you need to earn your way more. You know, you're still young. But to be a 3-division undisputed champion, fighting anybody and everybody whenever, I mean, she is the GWOAT. I'm sorry, I gotta give it to her, man. She is. In my opinion, she's the GOAT. I will give Katie Taylor 2. Then we can start going down Chris Martin and everybody else. But those 2 were just a notch above others, in my opinion. And Claressa, people don't like her, you ain't gotta like her, but guess what? You have to respect her and her game because she is elite of the elite. Now, the only thing I would say with these women fights is that they do need to change the rules as far as these timing. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it needs to be, at one point I was advocating that women need to fight 12 3-minute rounds like men, but then Claressa and other women have made great points of saying that's a big jump from going from 20 minutes to 36 minutes and that they should do 12 2-minute rounds. I will meet halfway by saying I think that if anything, they should do maybe 3 8-minute rounds or maybe do 3 10-minute rounds. Because I think the accumulation of rounds is still not gonna necessarily help your body. I think the 3 minutes is gonna help your body no matter what, because you know how to pace yourself through 3 minutes, no matter if it's 8, 10, or 12. If you do an extra 2 rounds, you're still used to that. Your body's used to doing 2 minutes. You know when to pause, when to be aggressive within that 2-minute structure. So I still think that 3 minutes need to be implemented outside of 2 minutes, because that 1 minute makes a hell of a difference. People want to act like a minute ain't a big deal. Go ahead and do something for a minute. I want you to do something as hard as you can for 2 minutes and then do it to 3 minutes to see how much of a difference that is. A minute is such a difference. So I think 3 8-minute rounds and 3 10-minute rounds should be the go-to for the next rule change. I've been talking a lot. I mean, people want to say what's next. I mean, if they rematch, cool. I mean, once again, I don't think it was that close to be a rematch, but if they want to do it, whatever. But yeah, I've been wrapping up. I'm pretty sure I went way over, but there were just so much fights to happen. And I'm so happy. I love fight weekends like that, where I can just sit at home and literally just watch people punch each other in the face. But I would love to hear what you guys think, man. What's next for all? And do you really think Claressa is the GOAT? If not, if you think Kate Taylor is, or Chrissy Martin, or any of these other women, or even Layla Ali, I don't know why you said that, but if you did, okay. I want to hear why, because I mean, I disagree a lot. But as always, man, make sure you follow me on all social medias at Papa Showtime or John Showtime, whichever one you find first. And like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. As always, make sure you stay blessed.